Thomas Donald Gibson. I'm 77, and I live in Whatcom County, outside of Bellingham. There were not that many African Americans here. In fact, there were 6 families in the entire county when I was growing up here. And we were dirt poor. I was the oldest of 11 children, and I always thought that everyone else in my class had it better off than I did. Number one, because they were white. Number two, because I thought everybody had more money. 2 weeks after I graduated, I was gone. I had $25 in my pocket, and I was gone. I just wanted out. When I got back up here and reconnected with people that I went to high school with, we would get together for breakfast, and I would hear things, and our relationships grew. And these are people that I thought I would never have anything to do with, because they were up here and I was down here. And so that's helped me to understand that things change as you get older. We start to understand things better. We start to appreciate the friendships that we have. We start to appreciate and understand that what we had in our youth is not the same. What we have as adults is quite different. Aging is a process that if you let it get to you, you'll become depressed over time, because the body is as we know, things diminish. In my case, with photography, I'm continuing to learn, and I find that that's helped me an awful lot to maintain my mental sharpness. Constantly studying, reading, learning new things, interacting with people who are in photography. When I was teaching, I never thought of it as work. I never said I'm going to work especially when I was a full-time instructor. I didn't say I was going to work. I said I'm going to school. When I became department chair, I said I'm going to work. I worked for a number of years as an industrial and commercial photographer, and I always knew that I knew how to manipulate my tools, but I always questioned, am I an artist? Especially in my case, with wearing the skin, you don't have the confidence. You think that whatever I'm doing, a white person can do it better. Everyone else can do it better, and that's a fact for most African Americans. So I developed an eye, and now I'm starting to believe that I'm as good as most of my contemporaries. Especially since I've retired and I've spent a lot more time trying to be an artist and not do the work that someone else wanted me to do the work that I wanted to do. I've decided, yes, I'm an artist. I'm starting to believe that I'm an artist. Other than things things wearing out, I had a hip replacement. I had 2 bad feet that needed a lot of work. I had back surgery. In terms of, to me, that's small when you compare it to people who have a terminal illness. I used to think that I would go on forever doing the things that I wanted to do. When I think of someone who was in my age, who's 77, I used to think that they're barely able to stand up, and I look at people who are younger than me, who are barely able to stand up. But I don't. People my age, they're old. Some people are old, and others are not. Learning to live with what you cannot do anymore is, for me, that's very helpful in trying to age gracefully. I'm not comfortable with the fact that I can't do certain things. I'm not comfortable with the fact that life is changing. One of the things that's discouraging is how our bodies age and how our bodies look. You need to embrace that also. It's a part of living. I think one loss is the loss of innocence in the age group today. When we grew up, it was an age of innocence. I bemoan that a little bit. a lot actually. The healing, for me, the big healing is forgiveness, forgiving people who have done you wrong, and move on with life. We all travel through this life. We think we're doing it alone, but we're not. There's always someone there. There's been someone who has helped us along our way, along this journey of life. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, and every day I wake up, it's a blessing. It's a good day. I've always had a love of the outdoors, so I'm really drawn to doing landscapes and doing old buildings and old cars and rusty things like that sort of thing. Especially the trees, they're old things, and I tend to be drawn to things that are growing. So when I think of an old rusty car, that rust is growth. The weathering wood, that's growth.